Your food is killing you, people.
I literally would drink a Diet Coke for breakfast. It's messing your hormones up, people.
Yeah, we'll just go with that. Right? Should I get a soapbox out for you?
Yeah, seriously.
She's going on soapbox.
The most important factor to a healthy well-being is feeling connected. Welcome to From There to Here,
a safe place where we will explore some of life's adventures so that you do not feel alone. And that's a wrap for season 2. Just kidding. This is the beginning of an episode, you guys, but I had to do that because we didn't say goodbye to you when we left for season 2.
That's rude.
I know. We said goodbye on our social media, but not here on our podcast platform. Wait, is that what this is called?
On the mics. We'll just say on the mics.
So goodbye and hi. And also welcome back. This is season 3 of From There to Here. And Shannon, I just think I need to share with our listeners that we're in the top 10% of podcasts.
So keep listening, keep sharing?
Yes.
Sure.
And I don't like doing that kind of stuff. It feels weird to be like, ooh, listen to us, share our podcast. But apparently we're in the top 10%. So there's millions and millions of podcasts out there and people are listening to ours. So that's kind of cool.
Maybe it's your voice. They just
I think so. Yeah. Especially when I start going in a low voice. I don't know why I just did that. Anyway, we always start with our heart lens to bring us joy, to help. Well, maybe it's not really to bring us joy. It's to stop and notice the joy around us because oftentimes in this podcast, we talk about hard things. So Shannon and I just like to really point out that there is always something around us that we can be thankful for, not to be like a bright sider of everything, right? Because some things are just shitty, but that like even in a dark time, there will be light, right? I mean, there's always a way. There's a way to get through. And sometimes finding the joy can brighten up your own day. So
thank you,
Shannon,
for that.
What's in your heart lens?
We've been gone for a while, so I feel like I have like a ton of heart lens things just popping up. But I will just do the most recent one.
Okay.
Just laughing. Jess and I were off the mics, and I just was laughing and
over a TikTok thing. Yeah. Obviously, if you've listened to us before, you know Shannon loves TikTok, and I still don't go on TikTok.
Yeah. There was something else we were laughing about too, and I was just like, see, just laughter is fun.
It's good for you.
I think you said something that made me laugh.
Oh.
And I was like, you make me laugh. That's just wonderful. This is just another great characteristic of Jess.
Thanks. People do say I'm funny. I get that from my dad.
Oh.
He's funny.
Thanks, John.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I don't do dad jokes like him, but yeah, my dad's pretty funny. Anyway.
What's in your heart lens?
We like the dry humor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't remember
and the
what you
really
said to me.
Inappropriate humor. That's what I like. Like with my best friend Stacy, we're always like taking things to an extreme that other people would be like, "You're gonna go to hell for that," but we're laughing.
I think it was we were talking about drag queens.
Oh,
you made me
yes,
laugh.
we would love to have a drag queen on.
Yes,
to ask questions,
really inappropriate questions,
right?
Apparently,
like where the heck do you put your dick and balls when you're in a leotard? Anyway.
Yeah. So
that's what we were laughing
That's the big question and what I was laughing about.
So if you're a drag queen and you have that answer, please reach out to us.
Podcast at FromThereToHere.net. No.
So they could email us at podcastfromtheretohere@gmail.com or go on our website at podcastfromtheretohere.net.
Thank gosh you have all of that in your head.
I know.
I just haven't created a file in my head for the podcast.
Okay.
Stuff.
Yes.
I can't visualize.
We're not doing the autism conversation right now, Shannon. Okay. My heart lens.
Your heart lens.
Okay, I have 2.
Oh. Okay.
One is like the best is yet to come. Basically, as simple as that. I'm really excited about some things going on in my life right now that are going to unfold, and I'm just super amped about it. I can't say too much more about it right now, but eventually I will. The other one that I'm going to say a little more about is, and I can't remember if I've talked about this before. I feel like I usually delete it on my little Heartlands note that I have in my phone, and I didn't. So I hope I haven't talked about this.
I don't think so, but.
So Jess and I took one of our nephews. Well, we took both of our nephews, but one of them graduated from high school, and they both graduated from high school, actually. But for high school graduation,
restart this story.
We take our nieces and nephews on graduation trips when they graduate from high school / 18th birthday. So Josh, our nephew, was like, I don't care where we go. And we're like, how about Banff? So he's like, yeah, let's go to Banff. So I'm like, okay. And if Jacob wants to come too, awesome. He did. But the other part of it is that Jude came.
And Jude was not 18.
No, he was definitely a three-nager that trip. And it was, how do I say this? Not very much fun.
How about eye-opening on what 3-year-olds can handle on vacation?
Oh my God. I mean, there's a little bit of a time change. I think he may or may not have had an ear infection. No. He was just crabby and not agreeable. And he definitely was sick. So every night he's coughing. Me and Jess and Jude are all sleeping in a full-size bed. Not queen size.
Yeah.
Full size.
This is supposed to be a Heartland.
I know. I'm getting to it. Okay. But so it's honestly, we went on that trip 6 months ago. And now
still triggering.
No, okay. That's what I'm saying. I just had to give the listeners the perspective. Now I'm looking back at pictures and I'm like, oh, that was such a wonderful
trip.
Memories
were made.
Not a vacation. Never a vacation when you take children with you. These are trips. But
how old do you think the children need to be in order for us to call them a vacation? Because some of my good friends are in a different state right now, and I don't know, are you on vacation or are you on a trip? Because their kids are 12 and 14 or 8 and 14. So
maybe once they're in their teens.
Okay.
I don't know. I'm not there yet.
I don't know either because I'm not there yet either.
One of my other friends said, you're just like taking care of your kid in another place.
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, kind of. Yeah, I can see that now. But anyway, like I had so many magical moments in Banff with everyone that we were there with. So I'm not saying all of it was horrible, but it was like really hard. But now I can look back and look at the pictures and I'm like, oh gosh, what a amazing experience. We're so lucky that our nephews want to go on these trips with us. And anyways, I always talk about how I adore them. I really do. Because it was awesome. Yeah. And if you can get to Banff, get there, man. It is stunningly beautiful, like magical land. So anyways, that's my Heartlands.
Okay. You love your nephews so much that we've had them on podcast.
Yes.
Episode 13 with Jacob.
Jacob, still our number one listened to episode. Most downloads.
Yeah.
He is a wise kid, although he's not really a kid anymore.
You're taking a vacation when you go with
Yes,
Jacob.
If I could go with just the boys now, Jake and Josh, that would be a vacation.
That would be a vacation.
They're actually going to Italy soon, and I'm like, why am I not going with them? Oh, because they're only taking backpacks. I'm like, that's not my kind of vacation.
I might call that a trip too.
Yeah, I
don't know if I could do that.
I have a roller suitcase and someone's gonna move it for me.
I have to put sunscreen on and just sit down with a drink in my hand.
Yes. Anyway,
something preferably slushy. No, okay. Moving on.
That went on and on, but that's okay.
Okay.
The slushy drink though that you had been handed probably would relate to the topic we're going to be talking about today.
Okay. Moving on to topic of today. Your food is killing you, people.
Yes. Basically, food in the United States is disgusting. And we need to catch up with other parts of the world, like Europe.
Oh, for sure.
Right?
I feel like in every aspect of everything medical, we have to catch up with the rest of the world.
Probably.
Okay.
Even though, I am grateful to live in America. I've traveled places that I would not want to live.
Yeah.
So, right? We're lucky here. but we have some work to do on our food. But before we dive in further, one of my friends said to me, but Jess, the biggest issue isn't that we don't have clean food. It's that we don't have enough food. And I'm like, I
kind of feel like I know who maybe that friend was, and I can see the picture of them saying this.
Well,
maybe. I don't know.
Either way, like, yes, especially children need to be fed, but let's be thoughtful about what they're eating. I am so grateful to see that states now are passing, like Arizona, like they're passing laws so that there is not all the ultra highly processed food being served in schools. And I'm like, holly fucking Luya. Like, no wonder we're seeing behaviors in kids. And I'm diving a little bit deeper than I should probably right away. But okay,
backtrack and like, why are we going to talk about this?
Yes. So we're talking about this because I don't know that this is part of my infertility.
Okay.
Push the button.
I'm trying.
Infertility.
Does it let me?
I don't know if what I was eating contributed to that, but I will say that I used to eat like literally in college. My meals were $1 frozen Smart Ones. Do you know those? Like,
yes, because I even after college was taking those to work.
Oh my gosh, so was I. Yeah. And they're filled with like crappy preservative, like artificial this and that, right? I literally would drink a Diet Coke for breakfast in the mornings.
Okay.
And like finally I got the Lowinger family in my life, and my mother-in-law was like, you need to stop that. So she started giving me the stuff from Market America, and I don't even know the last time I had a Diet Coke. Like probably 10 years, like, wow, maybe not.
You
10,
stopped
7
drinking
years.
Diet Cokes, and I started drinking
Yes,
Diet Cokes.
true. So super grateful for my mother-in-law for showing me how disgusting I was. She's the best, but
no judgment from this podcast if you're still drinking Diet Coke for breakfast.
A little bit, but it's not good for you, people, right?
Right. And I just want to preface through this entire episode, we are going to be talking about like maybe some political stuff that's happening in our world, but also know that Jess and I have, I don't know, probably changed. And obviously she used to eat $1 meal, frozen one Smart One meal.
Yes.
And now she doesn't. But I don't want to.
That was through knowledge. Some people just don't know.
I know, but I also don't want people to listen to this and be like, they're bashing me because I drink Diet Cokes in the morning. No.
Everyone
This is going to be our opinion.
Yes.
Some of this could be research based. So a
lot of it's research based.
So some of it maybe is just our opinions based on that.
Right.
But if you drink Diet Coke in the morning, continue to listen because this isn't like us bashing.
And we're not going to talk that much about Diet Coke, but that was one of the terrible habits that I had every morning. But I'm grateful for my mother-in-law and infertility to lead me to healthier eating and living. And now, like, Jude's learning about that, right? Because if I wouldn't have had infertility, definitely, I would not have started eating healthier. And I know that because when I was going through that, I had to, or I didn't have to, but I chose to try different things to try to get pregnant. Right. And one of the things was like eliminating soy from our diet. I know you did that for a while too.
I think this test is called the ALCAT, if anybody is interested.
It's a food sensitivity test. So LCAT, like ALCAT. And I got it prescribed. I don't know if that's the right word, through my acupuncturist.
Yes.
Same acupuncturist. But anyway, it tells you which foods might be contributing to like inflammation in your body. And inflammation in your body is like not good for you. How about that? That's like my easy way of describing it because I am not a doctor over here. But I mean, that's just the beginning of all of this, right? So like these special diets and like eliminating cane sugar and all the other things.
What were the things that you had to eliminate?
Well, soy is not good for, you can probably speak to that better.
Soy is just an estrogen based food. And yes, soy can be it can be natural. You can go into the earth and pick it up and eat it, but it's soy based. So what that means is it's estrogen based. So what that means is it's got more of the...
It's messing your hormones up, people.
Yeah, we'll just go with that.
Right?
There's a reason. It's like
We need Dr. Marsha. What episode was she? If you want...
From episode 43. Yeah. But there's something about it being in the natural... growing in the earth. Mm-hmm. And the reason that there has more estrogen in it. It's for... predator reasons. Okay.
Oh.
Yeah, it is. I had to look all this up because I was like, why the hell is this? So I had to do soy and gluten-free, and I did that for 2 years.
Yes.
What was yours?
Mine was, soy and dairy. Okay. That was so hard for me.
Because cheese,
I freaking love cheese.
Yeah.
I am a Wisconsin girl. I love beer and I love cheese. But I got super skinny when I did this diet, which was not the goal.
Plan.
But I was like, holy shit, this inflammation, is it inflammation? Is it I was eating a lot of food, but it just didn't have these things in it, right? But I will say not immediately, but I swear to you, within 1 or 2 weeks of cutting out, no, but my gut,
oh, okay.
Not that I'm bloated, but maybe I was bloated or just that inflammation. My stomach got flat and I wasn't doing workouts.
So how long did you do? No.
A year.
A year. Okay.
No soy, no dairy, cane sugar. And I'm not saying I was 100% at it because I would Monday through Friday, I was 100%. But sometimes on the weekends, I would splurge and have a cheese pizza or something. But I remember my acupuncturist telling me at the time, you kind of can't do that because it's almost like you have a scab. Yeah. And if you are healing your scab, well, now you're just picking it again every weekend that you eat it.
Yes.
So
everybody
can't do that.
Everybody that listens to this podcast knows my story, and I was very strict on this diet.
Yes.
No gluten, no soy. I remember going to restaurants and saying, I can't eat soy. And they're looking at me at what is that?
Why are you here?
Yeah. What is that? We don't have a soy-free menu like we would have a gluten-free menu. So super strict for 2 years. And then I was like, fuck that. This is ridiculous. I can't do this anymore to myself.
Yeah. So for the people around you.
Yeah, it was hard.
Remember Shannon Elliott? What episode was she? She talked about how she feels like she even made people around her uncomfortable.
Yeah, episode 5 and 6.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that. Because you'd go to a party or whatever, or an event. And
she'd be like, oh, why are you eating?
Eat that. Yeah.
Which you do kind of, I don't know. I hope I didn't get like that to people. But anyway.
I brought my own meals to places that I knew.
Fine.
But that is
no,
I think I went a little overboard on this. We'll
you couldn't eat that food though.
It's not that I mean, it's doing harmful things to my body.
Right.
I know this because I did it for 2 years. And then after saying fuck it and eating gluten and soy, I know I can't eat gluten. Right. I know I shouldn't eat gluten because every time I eat gluten, stuff happens in my body.
What?
TMI.
Oh,
just gonna do that.
You have to go to the bathroom right away or what?
Yeah. If you watch me, okay, we'll just.
Should we go eat some gluten for lunch today?
I'll just say it.
Okay.
I said this. I was said this to my really good friend the other day.
I've seen you eat gluten here, and I don't see you running to the bathroom.
I don't run.
Oh, okay.
I have to go to the bathroom within 2 hours.
Oh, okay.
Most often I shouldn't say that. 50% of the time it's right away. I need to use the bathroom. So I know gluten is not good for me, but I eat it all the time because it's just way too hard. And I love noodles and I love bread. And okay, on to the next subject.
Anyway, so basically our infertility journeys. Push the button.
I know, but it's kind of far away. And I'm doing this highlighting on our sheet, keeping track of what we've said. And
thank you for doing that. I can't do that, you guys. I don't know if I've ever told you in this podcast, this is totally a tangent and not related, but I cannot multitask, and Shannon can, apparently. Even though science would tell you there is no such thing as actually multitasking. Your brain cannot do that. But anyway, she's multitasking
I feel like I
over
need
there,
to
and I
Google
can't.
that now.
And yeah,
Can brains multitask?
pretty
All right,
sure.
so now we have
No.
kids. We did all
Yes.
this stuff.
So we're like so healthy now, you guys. I'm like
I'm not.
tossing my hair as I
am
say how healthy we are. I'm just kidding. Like we try, right? We do our best, but you can't like you could go wild in your brain about this, right? Because like how we were.
Oh, yeah,
when
for
we
sure.
were.
I absolutely have PTSD from this, and now
Yes.
I cannot go that route again. Like I can't
Yeah.
just be like, we're not gonna do whatever
Right.
forever. I
Yeah.
can't because I already know like what that did to
Yeah.
me long term.
I mean, we're pretty like we're really strict in our house now about red dye, and for Jude especially, and like we really don't have food in our house anyways that has it in it, but we actually got confirmation recently when we went to Remedies. It's in Oshkosh, Wisconsin. It's a holistic natural wellness center. The practitioner there, Nikki, she's a holistic healthcare practitioner. And if you go on their website, Remedies is what it's called. If you read like her resume, you're going to be like, how many lives has this woman lived? Because she is like
so smart.
so smart. And I think she's also pretty intuitive. Like
Yeah,
I think
yeah.
she didn't tell me this, but I'm like, she's like
yeah.
getting messages
I
from
think so.
the other side, not just
Yeah.
in
She's
her own
amazing.
brain. But she is amazing. And she confirmed through the testing that we did with Jude that he should definitely not have red dye. It is contributing to his hyperactivity and attention and all that
Sure,
stuff.
yeah.
And that is something that if you look that up, you will find out that red dye is doing that, which
Right.
is one thing that I get like just pisses me off actually, because all these parents, right, are feeding their kids perhaps red dye or other dyes,
Should I
right?
get a soapbox out
then,
for you?
Yeah, seriously.
She's going
and
on a
then
soapbox.
they're going to the doctor and they're like, my kid has ADHD. No, they fucking don't. They might. Okay. I'm not saying never, but there's a chance that what you're feeding your child is contributing to these behaviors. And I would just pray to the Lord, baby Jesus, whoever you
Baby
pray
Jesus.
to, that check that out before you medicate your child. Like in the educational field that we have worked in for a long time, I would see parents like saying their kid has ADHD and now they're medicating them. Like I get that there is true ADHD and I get that there are kids that do need to be medicated.
Sure.
I don't think it's most of them. Like, I really don't. I think that there's a huge population out there, and I have been saying this for my entire my career in education, that this isn't what it is. It's what they're eating and what they're consuming. So please consider the fact that what you're feeding your child could be contributing to behaviors.
Sure.
Like, I can see that happen in Jude, right? And actually, one of my good friends, her daughter, now she's in kindergarten now, so she has recognized that if she eats red dye, she gets a headache.
Oh,
So
yeah.
she now, as a 6-year-old, actively will say, like, I can't have that. I'll get a headache, right? Okay, I got to tell a funny story about red dye.
Go ahead.
So one day,
She's off the soapbox. She has stepped down.
Yes.
For a second.
I just needed to get that out, as you couldn't tell.
I have a debunk, but go ahead with
Okay,
your
I want to
story.
hear it after I tell this funny
Okay.
story about red dye.
Yeah.
So Jess and Jude oftentimes are out of bed before me, and boy Jess makes Jude pancakes in the morning, and he one day like added some stuff to the pancakes. So when they came into the room to wake me up, boy Jess is saying like, "Tell mommy what'd you put in the pancakes?" And it was bananas. And he's like, "What else? What else do we put in there?" And he's like, he didn't come up with it. Boy just was like, cottage cheese. Remember we put cottage cheese in the pancakes? And he's like, cottage cheese. And then Jude looks at me and he's like, and red dye with just like this funny face, like being sarcastic and like teasing me.
Yeah.
Because he now knows as a 4-year-old that we're like not eating red dye. But he basically was just being a little shit and being like, Mom, I ate red dye. Like,
did he eat red dye?
No.
Oh, he didn't put that on there.
No, there was no red dye in the pancake. So it was just funny that now, like, even as a 4-year-old, he's becoming aware of this. And he does he goes to birthday parties and he eats red dye every now and then. It's not like we're 100%, but in our own home, like, we avoid it.
Sure. Yeah.
Okay. What's your debunk on that?
I think I wonder about the history of all these artificial things being in our foods.
Yes.
And so we have grandparents that maybe have ADHD, but that could be potentially from what they ate or what they're eating. But then you pass that down to your daughter and then you pass that down to your granddaughter, right? So there's
100%.
There's some genetic stuff happening that
I am not saying that people don't truly have something going on in their brain that is not related to food.
But it could be genetically related to food.
Oh.
That's what I'm wondering.
I see what you're saying.
It's not. So potentially taking red dye out of my child's food could work, but it could not because of the food that was eaten from great grandma or whatever.
Sure.
So that's tricky.
That is tricky. Yes.
Okay.
And I agree with you on that. I'm not saying like there's no such thing as ADHD. It's all red dye. Like, that's totally not what I'm saying. I'm just saying, like, please consider what you are feeding your family before you medicate them with something else.
When you go to the grocery store, do you just use your Yucca app for everything?
Pretty much.
And
like, unless I don't want to know.
Okay.
There are some things that I'm like, I am eating that no matter what. So I'm just going to go ahead and not scan that on my Yucca app. And the Yucca app, ladies and gentlemen, is free. So if you...
Does it tell you if it has red dye?
Or
you have to read the ingredient label.
I love this app so much because you scan just the barcode and then it will tell you like the additives in the product.
Yes.
And then it will tell you the level of risk for the additives, and it will link scientifically based, evidence-based, peer-reviewed journal articles that tell you why the additives are, say, high risk, medium risk, or low risk. So
does it list the dyes, or you have to then read the ingredients?
No, I think it does say like red dye 40 or red dye or red 3 or it says the additive that is in it.
Okay.
And actually, I mean, most of the things, it's quite obvious what red dye is in, but it's not always obvious.
No, I don't think it's obvious at all.
So, but yeah, if you just use the Yucca app and scan, it will tell you it's the specific ingredients that are in it. And then it also is weighing some other things like the amount of sugar, the amount of protein, the amount of sodium. So like if you're scanning chips and they're scanning in the bad category, well, and if you look at the reason, it's because it's high in sodium. You're like, well, obviously they're fucking chips.
Right.
Like they're going to be high in sodium. So like, I do love then that it will give you alternative options. If you like still want to eat chips, but you don't want some as high in sodium, you can, and like, I could give two craps about sodium, to be totally honest. And I know some people then do really care about sodium, but anyways.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that is why Jude doesn't do red dye. That's kind of like now.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean,
so
this is a little bit newer of a thing.
I will tell you, like, I went to Remedies myself. I've gone a couple times just for first the infertility stuff and now just to be healthy. But when I was pregnant with the boys, I made them an appointment at Remedies. And because I wanted them back to back, it was actually a very long wait list. That's just how popular and how amazing
people
Nikki
are like
is.
finding out about this place because now my nephew just like a week ago or 2 weeks ago tried to get an appointment. And it's like a 1.5 to 2 year wait.
Well, and so
not with a back-to-back appointment.
And so our appointment isn't until January of 2026, and I made it when I was pregnant. So you can do the math.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
They're 5.
Yeah.
So we have an appointment to go, but my reason for wanting them to go wasn't based on the Red 40 stuff. When I went, I had a lot of like genetic cancers in me that I got wiped out. So I just wanted them to go because Ben hasn't gone. So I got mine wiped out. I know that they're not going to get any genetic cancers from me, but they could from Ben's side. So, well, he made an appointment and then it ended up being when we were on vacation. So we canceled his appointment.
I wanted to be seen at Remedies as well. But guess what, people? I got the COVID vaccination and I am not able to be seen there because of that. So just know if you have been COVID vaccinated, I'm not going to go into details because this is not what this is about, but the testing that she doesn't work if you've had the COVID vaccination. And I'm not even going to explain it because I'll sound like an idiot. You can call up there and ask them why. But
she won't be able to see your organs, basically.
Yeah. But anyway, Jude luckily was able to be seen, and we're doing all these drops too. Yeah. Like we didn't go there just to talk about food, but just anything else that could have been going on for him. Yeah. So
it's cool. I have taken Brielle to Remedies because she was born with some drugs in her system, and she still had them in her system when we went. So we got those all out. But I will say that the reason that my family has gone to not doing red dye is because the boys were so hyperactive. And part of it is like, people were like, well, they're just boys. And I'm like, that's not the reason.
Right.
So we decided not to do red dye. And now in our house.
Are you noticing a difference in behavior?
Yes. So in our house, we are not 100% because like you said, like we'll go to birthday parties and they might have something, or typically on the weekends, red dye will stay in your system for about 36 hours, depending on like your metabolism, your water intake, your weight, whatever. But typically it's about 36 hours. So we know that we have them over the weekend. Sometimes we have red dye. If we do like a special ice cream, we're not going to tell them you can't have that ice cream or whatever. If it's during the week, no, you're not having red dye.
Yeah.
But if special occasions or like sometimes on the weekends, and we will joke like, oh, they must have gotten some red dye. I mean, it's just a joke in our house now with Ben and I.
Because you can see the behavior change.
Oh, 100%.
I feel like I can in Jude too, but I always kind of wonder if I'm like just hyper focusing on it. And I'm like, oh, you see that one thing he did?
No, it's 100% difference with the boys, both of them.
Yeah.
Brielle, no, I can't see a difference in Brielle, but Brielle definitely has other things like focus things happening. So hers wasn't like hyperactivity stuff. It's more of like
and that impacts
ability to focus. Yeah.
And it's not just red dye. Like I'm primarily talking about red dye 40 and 3.
Sure.
One interesting thing is that the US banned red 3 in 1990. Think about how long ago that was, people. In 1990, it was banned from beauty products because there were links to...
Which is dumb.
cancer.
Like, why would you only ban it from beauty products in 1990?
But not food.
Yeah.
So
Hello?
How effed up is that? So I am just so happy to see that RFK has this on his plan to clean up our food.
Yeah.
And
that's just why I said, like, we might be talking about some political stuff here. Whether you like Trump or not, whether you like his decision to have RFK in office with him, whatever.
You can't be mad about the food thing.
We can't be mad about the food thing. Yes. So January of 2025, the U.S. banned red 3 from food and
whoop whoop.
Yeah. And like drug products. So like amoxicillin, stuff like that.
I was watching, there's a documentary to Die For.
Yes.
A Prime Video.
Yep.
And they were talking about how like in the ADHD medication they had red dye.
Yeah.
Like what the F is
so
going on? Yeah. Like, hello.
Yeah.
So.
And I guess I'm a little maybe just naive about this, but okay, so in 2025, we say we're banning this, but we're going to give you 2 years.
Oh my gosh, I know.
We're going to give you all 2 years to like take this out of your foods.
So you're going to have to
maybe it takes 2 years. I don't know.
Right.
But it just seems like a long time. Can't we just like say you have to stop it now?
Right. Well, no, because like, think about how big these companies are. Like Cheetos can't just be like, okay, tomorrow we're going to have a new formula.
Oh, okay. I see what you're saying.
Like
Cheetos.
I get it, but sorry, Cheetos, but
yeah.
I do
mean,
eat Cheetos every now and then.
There are some Cheetos that don't have dye in them.
Yeah.
They're not.
I feel like we're talking
brand,
a ton about dye, but there's other things too, right? Like we get organic food primarily.
Oh, yeah.
Not with pesticides. And another thing that came up at that functional medicine appointment that we had at Remedies was like, for example, Jude's body is not able to process the red dye.
Mm-hmm.
However, it is able to process some of the pesticides and things.
Sure.
So I'm like, do I need to be getting organic? Like for his sake, maybe not, but maybe I do for mine. I don't know, right?
Yeah.
Like all of our bodies are going to be responding differently to these things. So although we're talking a lot about red dye here today, there's so many other things to consider. And that Yucca app helps you sort that out so you don't have to like be researching and reading every label. Because have you seen those memes where it's like, oh, just me being at the grocery, or it's not a meme anymore, it's a reel, right? I'm like sounding old. Like these, I'm at the grocery store for 4 hours just reading all the ingredients labels and putting everything back on the shelf.
Well, it's when we first started doing it at our house, I was feeling I was having anxiety about it. I went right back to how I felt with going gluten and soy free.
It's a lot of work.
And I don't understand. Like, how do I find this? I felt like it was like and they are kind of hidden. Like, they don't just say red 40. It'll say a different ingredient, but that means red 40.
They're
so I was
calling them different things.
I was so confused. And so I went through all of our pantry and all of our refrigerator. And we just got rid of stuff that had red dye in it. Yep. And our, in-home provider was like, red dye is in everything. And I was like, it's not though. Now that I've got this figured out, it's not. So
it just takes a little work.
And my cousin has helped me a lot, like figure out like what red dye is in. But basically, if if you're looking at an ingredient label, all the dyes are going to be at the bottom. They're the last thing that's listed. So that was really helpful. Okay, so this, I know this means this, and I know it's got red dye in it or whatnot. So it's always at the end and it's always hidden. But there are also some really good like Facebook groups. One of them's Dye Free Family Swaps Recipes and Resources. And
what's the Facebook group called?
Dye Free Family Swaps Recipes and Resources.
Oh, that's a long name.
Long name. So sometimes like people will post pictures of like an ingredient label and be like, does this really not have dye in it? Because people are so used to the dyes now that it's a little shocking sometimes when popsicles, this certain popsicle brand doesn't have red dye in it, or now you can buy this certain Doritos and it won't have dye in it. And if you just go to Aldi's and get their brand, they won't have dye in it.
Aldi's is actually a really great place to shop in general because almost anything is sort of safe there, right?
Yeah, you just have to make sure it's the Aldi's brand and then it will not have dye in it. So that's like the place to go because it's just, you don't have to look at labels anymore. It's just easy. But
another person that I follow on Instagram is Dr. Mark Hyman. He talks about functional medicine. He's an author, but I mean, it can drive you a little loco because you're like, oh my God, I can't have anything. But he talks about inflammation and red light and just ways to be healthy. Yeah. It's some of it's food related, but not all of it. Yeah. But I definitely would recommend following him.
What is it? Dr. Mark
Hyman?
Hyman.
Yeah.
Okay.
Is that how you say it?
Yeah.
I don't know. But
do you think it was easy then or hard to just switch Jude over?
Well, that's the thing. Like, I didn't just go through my cabinet like you did and throw stuff away. I just started to refill.
Got it.
And then go from there. And, you know, there are some like we're not 100%.
Okay.
We have flexibility. Like we're living our life, right? But we know that these dyes are carcinogenic and some of them are triggering hyperactivity. So why not just be healthier? Right. And the Yucca app really saved me in a lot of ways with that. Because it really did make it easy. And there are other apps too. It's Bobby. Oh, okay. I think it's Bobby. So it's not just this Yucca is Yuka, but like I just said, I think it's Bobby. There are other ones that also do check to see how clean your food is. And it's not just dyes. It's pesticides and other additives that could be not good for you in various ways. And I just love the Yucca app in particular because it tells you the reason that it's not good for you. So to me and it has the research linked to it. Another thing that what we're finding out is some of these additives and all of this crap in our food is actually causing autoimmune diseases. And there has been such an increase in those these days where it's just like, take care of your body, man. What is that? I have that on my beer fridge. Take care of your body. It's the only place you have to live.
Yeah.
And like, isn't that the truth? Right.
Yeah.
So
I was just asking if it was hard for you to change over because I feel like, my kids, we've always done family grocery shopping, always. So my kids know.
Like a nightmare too.
Sometimes it is, yeah. So my kids know like what they like or what treats they've had or.
Jude's definitely pointing at things. He's like, I want goldfish. I want that. I'm like, we don't eat goldfish at our house. And then the mom in the cart next to me has goldfish. She's like, well, that lady's a bee. I'm like, you know what I mean? I'm like, well.
Yeah.
And I say to him, like, some people eat that food and we just don't. And that's okay. Like, not everyone's going to do life.
The boys will say, like, Mom, does that have red dye in it? Mom, does that have red dye in it? They don't say anymore, Mom, I want that. It's Mom, does that have red dye in it? But I think it was harder for us to make the change. One, because they were older.
Yes.
But they were around Jude's age when we made the change.
Okay.
They were 4. But because we've always done family grocery shopping, that they just knew. And we made the change when they were like going to school. So they were in like a preschool program and they like everybody has like got to have Valentine's cookies. And I was like, I'm not going to make them not have Valentine's cookies. This is the worst time to make this change, like over the Christmas holiday break.
It was a change for Jude either.
It was definitely a change for us.
We've always been really thoughtful about what Jude was eating. He's probably very rarely, we've never probably bought food that has dye in it for him. Just because
we definitely have.
It was on my radar from all the infertility stuff. And he's always had a clean diet. And actually when we went to that remedies doctor, she said that oftentimes kids about his age have like 3 or 4 pages of things that they need to clean out. And he had 1.
Oh, wow.
And I'm not like patting myself on the back, but I kind of am patting myself on the back because I do think what we've fed him has contributed to that in some way. Like I have no way of knowing that for sure, but I do think that that's interesting that she said that.
Yeah, that is.
So,
I definitely just.
As they get older though, it is like Jude wanted a slime birthday cake. Well, actually, I don't know if he really wanted a slime birthday cake because I chose the theme of his birthday. He loves slime, but my mom made a birthday cake, and do you want to share what was it? Hawk or Riggs? One of them was like, this cake is gross. Well, because he got a huge chunk of the frosting.
Yes, yeah.
And even as my mom was making
it wasn't this cake is gross. That piece was gross, Mom. Yes. He liked the. There was
probably the inner part.
Yes, and there was I can't remember what your mom was telling me she used for the ingredients. But it was the spinach that he didn't like. Yeah. That was the piece where he's like, that's gross, Mom.
The green frosting was dyed with a spinach-based powder.
There we go.
So my mom, thankfully, is amazing in so many ways, but she makes Jude amazing birthday cakes, but she also is thoughtful about what she's feeding all the kids now when they're with her, not just Jude. And when she made his birthday cake, she was really thoughtful about, like, we didn't just go and get food coloring to color the frosting and the inside of the cake. There are alternatives to that, but they don't taste very good. Apparently, which she was like, this cake's probably going to be disgusting. But I think the cake actually was good. There were just a few bites here and there that
it was dependent on like the frosting.
Yeah.
That's funny.
So anyway, we live and we learn.
Yeah.
And we grow from there to here.
From there to here. Yeah. But as we're trying to like move towards, I guess, healthier options in our house, it's interesting because my kids will not eat it.
Oh, I bet the change is so tricky. Yeah. I bet.
And it's just, we've never, my kids are snacky kids. They've always been snacky kids. They snack constantly. And I think at their in-home provider, like they'll have lunch, but she leaves their lunch out because they'll snack on it throughout the entire day.
Jude does the same.
So we just spent like $630 at Costco on fucking snacks. Yeah.
Stacy, my bestie, she'll make her kids like little plates of food that are called nibbly plates.
Oh, nibbly
but it's
plates.
like, it's basically little snacks, but it's like a carrot and a cucumber and some crackers and some nuts and it's snacks, but like, I kind of don't blame them. Like, that's how I like to eat too. So,
and I have no idea what happened. Like, I have a video of the boys sitting in their little chairs when they were like maybe 8 months old. Yeah. And they're eating like a strip of a red pepper. Like, that's all I pureed all their food.
I know.
I was like they were so healthy when they were babies.
It's trickier as they get older. I mean, Jude has
I think it is too, because then they have an opinion. And
yes, which is good. Right. And then
no, you guys need to start eating healthier. No opinions on food.
Yeah.
Yeah. They're pretty, and my kids are pretty picky too.
They're 3 and 4 and 5. That's just part of it for a lot of kids.
And I do wonder about like parents that have more than one kid, like how that works. Because sometimes we make a meal and Hawk doesn't like it, or Riggs doesn't like it, or Brielle doesn't like it. And now Brielle's at the age where if you don't like it, you take your try it bite and then you go ahead and make your own dinner. That's fine. Make yourself dinner. Right. And she will, but it's tricky. Yeah.
Food is tricky
and expensive too. If you are doing more of like the healthier route,
and organic fruits and vegetables,
and eggs, like cage-free eggs are so much more expensive than just eggs.
Yes,
that's what they're called.
I know.
Not caged-free,
right.
But it is. So for families that are larger, like I don't want you to feel like we're saying you're a bad parent because you can only afford what you can afford.
Yes.
Yeah.
But it would be better if all of our food could be cleaned up for everybody.
Yeah, I just think it would be so much easier. And I'm going to go back to politics a little bit, but Michelle Obama, like her food plate when Obama was in office. About. Okay, so when Obama was in office, she had this big, like change in food, it was a food program.
Okay.
And it was like supposed to be like child nutrition and making sure we were eating like on like a healthy plate at school. So like schools, now you have to have a fruit. Now you have to.
And then, it goes in the freaking garbage because I've been in the cafeteria.
But now that she makes us do all this, do you know what the fruit is? It's all full of sugar.
I know.
They have to have a bread. So now we're eating gluten.
Right.
Like
and grain.
A grain. So now you're eating gluten. Like it's not healthy at all.
Right.
It's not.
Causing inflammation.
Yeah. It's so, like her food plate is so unhealthy.
That's not good.
No.
I don't know.
Which I think is like another thing though. Like my kids are in school and the boys will be in kindergarten next year. And it's a lot of work to be packing lunches every single day.
I only have to do it twice a week for one kid. And I'm like, ugh.
Yeah. And like if Brielle wants
does it half the time.
Brielle wants school lunch, it's just so much easier on me.
Go and eat the crap.
Yeah. Well, and I will say, like, prompts to some schools in the older grade levels where you always have a salad option, and Brielle loves salad, so she just picks that all the time.
It's probably not organic.
Probably not. And the dressing is probably really bad, too.
But Baby steps.
I have to like pick my battles because if they're going to have school lunch and there's a cookie with school lunch, I know they're going to get red dye. Like I just know that they're going to end up with red dye in their system. And so I can't, of course. And and like I said in the beginning, like I have to be because I just went way down a rabbit hole when I was doing it for myself. And I don't also want my kids to have like food problems as they grow older. Like
I know.
I can't eat that, so I'm just not going to eat today.
Yes, right.
Or I ate that, and now I feel really guilty, so I'm going to go throw up.
Right.
I just don't want that to happen either. It's
tricky.
Just fine line of
all of parenting.
Yeah, everything. Yes, everything about parenting. Yeah. Well, thanks for listening to us on our soapbox over here, guys. All my notes are highlighted.
We usually end with a quote.
Everything.
Do you have one in mind? Otherwise, I'll just say, don't eat gross food. Or maybe we end instead today with a call to action and pull out your phone.
Oh, yeah.
And go to the App Store and type in YUKA, Yucca, and download the Yucca app. Thank you for listening and being a part of our community. Please follow us on Facebook and Instagram.
If you'd like to connect, we can be reached at podcastfromtheretohere@gmail.com. We hope you continue on this journey with us.